What up everyone, it's your man Xman87 here, bringing you another Marvel Legends topic for discussion video, and what I have for you today are the 5 things that Marvel Legends better not do for the Maximum series. Before we get into everything, if you could please leave a thumbs up, like, rating on the video, it'll help show your support for my channel and I greatly appreciate it. Now, excuse me if some of the stuff I mentioned in this video may be a little dated already. I've been meaning to get to this video back to when the Maximum line was first introduced, but there's just been so much going on that's been taking up time in my personal life, so I figured, hey, even if it's a little late, we can still talk about it if you want. And that's one of the points of making a discussion video, is to participate in the conversation. So there's some topics I want to tackle, and especially after that Maximum Hulk reveal, it really made me want to tackle this discussion with you guys to let Hasbro know what we should and shouldn't be getting out of this Maximum line. Now, with that said, here are the 5 things Marvel Legends cannot do for their Maximum line. Alright, first things first, at number 5, do not fuck up Magneto. Please, Hasbro, I'm begging you, don't. That is my boy. We need the definitive Magneto. But seriously, number 5 is no plastic capes. And it should all be fabric wired capes. And I think Magneto should be the first character to display that. I know some people are thinking Moon Knight, Doctor Strange, you know, fair, but I still think Magneto is in dire need of that definitive Magneto figure that we've been wanting and needing in Marvel Legends, because let's face it, they've been butchering his figure for, man, forever, you know? And it's not just the cape, you know, also his physique. You heard me say this 1,000 times, but seriously, fabric wired capes is needed. It is needed for this line, especially if you're paying $50 for a figure. I do not want plastic capes for any figure that costs $50. No, and they better not do what Revoltech did, where it's like plastic articulated capes, where the cape is broken up and you can like, oh my god, no, hell, no. That just drives me nuts. I think they did it for their Batman, and that drives me nuts. So let's just stick to fabric wired capes. That's just how it is nowadays. The game has changed to fabric wired capes. The posability, the fluidity of how it looks when posed is just, oh man, you get a great pose. It's flawless. I mean, look at Jada Toys. You know, $25. I got that M. Bison figure, fabric wired cape, and it's freaking beautiful for $25. So there's no excuse to have fabric wired cape, you know, that it costs a lot. Nah, Jada Toys is doing it for $25. So keep that in mind. And I know there's people that are not a fan of fabric wired capes at all. They actually like the plastic, but you know, I'm sorry, you're losing this one, because the majority of people want fabric wired capes over plastic. I just can't do plastic capes no more, man. They're just not fun for figures. And guys like Doctor Strange, which you've heard me say over and over again, you know, the Cloak of Levitation, it's its own character. He needs that fabric wired cape. Oh man, I'm dying for a Doctor Strange, a classic Doctor Strange, to have that feature. And you know, Moon Knight, you know, that'll look cool on Moon Knight. Obviously, I mentioned Magneto, there's Sentry, Vision, there's, you know, so many characters with capes that would just benefit from that so much. And to add to that too, fabric wired jackets. I mean, Gambit is the first one that comes up to mind, right? How many people want to display their Gambit figure, you know, outside, you know, with the trench coat off, and you know, you have his whole look with the sleeves and the, you know, the pink rectangles he has down his arms. And that's one thing I can't stand too, is those plastic trench coats. Oh man, they're just horrible. So hopefully, you know, characters that have trench coats like Gambit, you could add Nick Fury to that list. Who else I'm thinking of? I could look here at my collection. Multiple Man, he's not going to be a Maximum, but you get the gist, right? You get the idea. Ooh, Punisher with a fabric coat now. I could get behind that. Ooh, give me that. I would love that. They should definitely take a look at what, you know, Mezco did. They did some good fabric offerings for characters with trench coats and capes, which I hope they keep an eye on that, because A Punisher with a trench coat is definitely something people would buy in a Maximum series. It would be an atrocity if we don't get fabric wired capes in a $50 line. No freaking way, man. And here's the thing. Not many of you may know, but Hasbro does have a soft goods team. Literally, there's a specific team that works on fabric. And to just leave them on the bench like that, where are they? You know what I mean? We get some fabric coats for Hank Pym and Beast, and they've done some soft goods for the Star Wars line. I think that's mainly what they work on. But even then, I think Black Series started using more plastic. I mean, there's still some soft goods and stuff, but you know, man, it's like, what are we even doing? Imagine if you're working at Hasbro and you just run up to the soft goods team like, hey, how's your day, man?
I didn't do fucking shit!
Like, what are we even doing here, Hasbro? You're paying them to do nothing. Like, put them to work and make them give us our fabric wired capes and fabric wired coats that we need in the Marvel Legends line. Alright, number 4 on my list that I have is no half splits. Like, seriously, we need a full split, especially when it comes to Spider-Man. I do not want to see this at all. At all. It needs to be a full split. No half splits. Now, Spider-Man, the Maximum Series Spider-Man is in a lot of people's hands right now. There are reviews up. And so I didn't see any reviews. I saw some pictures, but I didn't see, anyone show like the splits or anything on that figure. I kind of try to stay away from that because, as a reviewer myself, I kind of like to explore that on my own, and I don't want other people's reviews. The reason why I don't watch other people's reviews before I put my review out there is because I don't want you, my viewers, to feel like my review is tainted or someone. Maybe I'm looking at it wrong, but and it's not that I can't formulate my own opinion. As you guys know, I'm a very strong opinionated person, but it's just something that I just like to explore on my own. That's part of like the fun, the journey in opening of figures, to find out a lot of the things. I like to dissect the figure. That's just me. I like to break it down. I'm very analytical. So, half splits, no. I want full splits. I don't care. I want every figure to have a full split. I don't care if it's the freaking fattest character in Marvel. I don't care if it's Kingpin, Maximum Kingpin. I know he can't do full splits, but I want his figure to do a full split. You know why? Because we're paying for the articulation, especially if it's $50. If you're spending $50, I want you, or anyone should get the most of what they pay for. You know what I mean? So why would I want to pay $50 for a half split? Like, to me, if Maximum Spider-Man doesn't do a full split, that's a no for me, man. That would really piss me off. And don't spoil it in the comments section for me. I know you guys are gonna be like, oh well, I know you're gonna be disappointed. Whatever. I can't control what you say, but like I said with Kingpin or the Blob, or even though I don't think he'll get Maximum Series, but you know what I mean, those characters that you don't think would do splits, let them do a split. We're paying for the articulation, man. Don't rob us, like, hey, I might sound greedy here, wanting a full split for a Kingpin figure, but why not? If they're going to get greedy with the $50 price tag, we have every right to get greedy with what we want too. We want the best articulation, the best range out of that articulation, the best paint, the best sculpt out of everything in this Maximum line. So yeah, if Hasbro wants to get greedy with the price, then, we have every right to get greedy with everything we want in a figure. So, speaking of being greedy, another thing I like to add, man, I could have really stretched this out to 10 things that Hasbro better not do for the Maximum Series line. But basically, do not do the typical Hasbro Hurricane thing where they just bombard us with a bunch of figures in one quarter like they normally do, you know? Like quarterly, sometimes, oh man, it's just non-stop. So for Maximum Series, if this is like, you know, $50 to $60 for each figure, they got to space it out right. Because there's no way if you drop 8 Maximum Series figures in like one quarter, that is crazy. Okay, so if it's like 8 Maximum figures throughout the year, that's fine. That's more than doable because I'm going to be selective with this line anyway. So I'm not going to like buy every single one, and I'm sure a lot of people will be selective too. And, you know, you got your completists that will always, you know, buy everything, and that's fair. But, you know, I'm going to bring up Jada Toys, for example. Again, those figures are $25, and the way they spaced them out is 2 figures a quarter. That's literally $200 a year for that line. That is probably the easiest line you can budget in this hobby. I'm serious, man. Like, that is good. So if you were to ask me like how many figures I think they're gonna release a year for the Maximum Series, I don't know, man. I honestly don't know. But if I had to take a guess, I would probably go with maybe 6 to 8 around there. But again, who knows? It could be less, it could be more. We don't know. It's more of we got to kind of feel it out and see. So since this is their first year introducing Maximum Series, I would probably say they should play it safe, do like 4 or 5 or 6 just to gauge where they want to go from there. Honestly, I would say 4. That's enough. That's like $200. So that's like the price of a whole wave basically at this point, you know. Probably a little more than a wave. A wave costs like what? Full wave $175, I think, something like that. So yeah, they should play it safe there, but we'll touch on this later. Alright, number 3 would be unpopular costumes. Oh man, I cannot tell you how many times we've gotten those bad costumes that we're like, what? Why did they make this costume, you know? Like, I get it for, you know, their basic line, when they're doing waves, and they want to, you know, put in a easy figure that'll make up for the cost of the bath. I get it, but not in a premium deluxe line that you're charging $50 for. No way. No way for $50 do I want to see, you know, Doctor Strange's worst costume, you know? That young Doctor Strange with the, like, long hair. No. Like, we gotta have his definitive costume, his main default look, you know? I don't want to see Hawkeye with his little tunic skirt when he had nothing underneath, man. That was an eyesore, man. That was terrible. So we can't have unpopular costumes. It's gotta be, you know, the main looks, their main costumes, the popular costumes. Are we gonna get alternate costumes? I'm sure. You don't think Maximum Spider-Man is gonna be repainted to the black suit? Come on now, man. That is just a way too popular. That's his most popular costume outside his classic red and blue. So it's gonna happen. Now, you know what? I'll touch on that later. I'm gonna keep that black suit Spider-Man in mind, but for sure, no unpopular costumes. You know, it's gotta be the best of the best. Number 2, it's one thing you guys have heard me criticize a lot, and that's their plastic metallic molding. I do not want to see any of that in the Maximum Series line. I want to see metallic freaking paint. I want to see silver metallic paint, gold metallic paint, red metallic paint. I mean, there's just so many. I mean, look at that Death's Head, for instance. They did the plastic metallic molding in silver. Like, imagine if that was like metallic silver paint. Oh man, even better. Hold on a second. When it comes to Silver Surfer, you know, that is one of my favorite superheroes of all time. When it comes to Silver Surfer, don't even do silver metallic paint for him, and they better dare not do the plastic metallic molding. He needs to have chrome paint. I see them. Yo, they did it for that Cobra Commander retro one with the the chrome metal mask. Oh, it looks so freaking good. And I'm just thinking, imagine having that in a Silver Surfer. Like, when I was a kid, I had the retro Silver Surfer figure, and he had that chrome paint deco. Oh, it was just so freaking beautiful and reflective. I want to see that for my Silver Surfer. I want to see it reflective. Not just him, but can you imagine a chromed out Colossus? Ooh, that would freaking kick ass, man. A maximum chromed out Colossus would freaking kick ass. Now, I don't want you to think chrome should be done on every figure. It just needs to be used wisely. So, like I said, characters like Silver Surfer, Colossus, they fit the bill for that, you know. Great candidates for that paint. They could use it for Wolverine's claws. They could do something really cool with that, you know. Imagine standing the Hulk right in front of those chrome claws to kind of capture that, you know, classic comic cover of seeing Hulk's reflection through the claws. That would be pretty dope. They did, I think, yeah, they've done chrome claws before for Wolverine. It was the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive X-Force 3-pack, and it was the cheaper claws, though. I feel like they could do something a lot better with the newer claws that they've been making, and so I think that's something interesting. I think Superior Iron Man should have been chrome deco. That's someone that could have been put in a maximum series with a chrome deco, because that white deco that they did was just not it. You know, he needs to be chrome. But yeah, just use the chrome paint wisely, and metallic paint is a must, though. I just don't want to see that plastic metallic molding. It just looks off. So want to see my metallic silvers, my metallic reds and blues, especially for Iron Man, metallic golds. So yeah, just make it look beautiful and dazzling. You know, I want that freaking paint to dazzle. And the number one thing that Hasbro cannot do for the Marvel Legends Maximum Series line is repaints and reuse. And yeah. Oh, they already did it. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's dated with the timing of this video, but we're gonna tackle it, man, because we gotta talk about it. Look, man, the Maximum Spider-Man, I said, was overpriced. You know, $50 was just too much. I think for a premium deluxe line, no, I know for a premium deluxe line, it should have been $35 to $40. That's where Mattel's WWE Ultimate Edition line is priced at. Their premium deluxe line, the Ultimate Edition, is priced at $35 to $40. And Hasbro got too greedy there. Now, at least for that figure, it's an all-new sculpt. It has like 25 accessories or something like that. It's a lot of accessories. With Hulk, he is $60, which, you know, it's a good thing he's not 70 plus, because a lot of people were thinking that, but he's $60, and it is still, it just baffles me, man, that he is a repaint and a reuse for a figure that buck is originally $30 to $35. And you know, when the Maximum Series line was first introduced in that fan stream, I remember Ryan Ting saying specifically, like, this line is gonna have the best paints, the best accessories, the best sculpts, the best articulation. I guess my man forgot to say the best repaints and reuse too. Because, man, look at that Hulk. Yeah, don't talk shit while you're taking a shit. A big green shit. And that was not it, you know. We were supposed to go from Hulk 1.0 to 2.0. And we didn't even get to 1.5. That's not even 1.5. That's like 1.2, because there's like 2 new pieces in that figure, the toes and the chest, and that's it. You know, they reused the same ugly arms with the, you know, that elbow that sticks out that you could freaking stab somebody with. It's terrible. They should have done, you know, new arms and sculpted double jointed elbows. I mean, there's just no excuse. And I don't want to hear that, oh, it's because it's a big figure, you know, the arms are too wide to pull off double jointed elbows. No, I've seen it a bunch of times on big, bulking, hulking figures that have double jointed elbows, and they work smoothly, you know what I mean? I've seen it done on 12-inch figures. All right, here's one. The 12-inch Marvel Legends line that Bobby Valla worked on, that Hulk figure that was like 14 something inches tall had double jointed elbows. So that thing, again, at 14 inches with double jointed elbows, you're telling me that they couldn't sculpt double jointed elbows for an 8-inch figure? Come on, man. And that's another thing. He's like the same size as the last Hulk, which, I feel like they could have made him a little bit bigger in scale. I think that would have been fine. The height on that Hulk 1.0 was great. The 80 years line was a great size for Hulk. There are just some things that he needed tweaking. And, I wanted front forward butterfly joint so he could do the thunderclap. They're giving us that with the squishy torso. You know what I mean? So you guys heard me say it before. I always wanted a Marvel Legends Hulk to feature a thunderclap pose, but I didn't want to spend $60 to do that. Some people are worried about the quality of the squishy torso. The last time they did it was with Mojo, and the vinyl material that they used doesn't look like it will deteriorate. I don't have a crystal ball, so only time will tell. But for now, it looks very durable. I respect, them going to trying new things like that. Because it's like the Storm collectibles. It works. My problem isn't with the squishy torso. It's the freaking reuse. The majority of that figure is a reuse. Like, I can't get over it, man. Like, $60 for that. Just to give us toe joints and a new torso. Same pin legs, same arms, and the heads, I'm sorry, all of them are just whack. They're just whack to me. None of the heads are good, I mean, I'm looking at my Avengers collection, I'm thinking, okay, if I put Maximum Hulk there, which head would I put? I don't even like any of them. I think the best head was the 80 years one with the Wolverine, that 2-pack. That one, I love that one. Hopefully the skin tone matches. Maybe you can pop that head on, the Maximum Hulk. I doubt it'll work though, but it's worth trying. I just think that they shot themselves in the foot early in this line, and this is just the second figure in the Maximum line. It is not a good look, man. I almost want to say, man, it's already dead on arrival here. It's really a bad start. I don't know what other way to put it, but I feel like they killed off the Maximum line right away at launch with this Hulk reveal because, the people that were excited about the Maximum line, despite the high price tag, once they saw reuse, because I've seen it in my comments section, it put them off. They're like, whoa, hey, hold on. Now I'm not even remotely excited for anything that's coming up next for the Maximum series line. And you know what? I feel them. Because I kind of feel the same way. After this Hulk release, I'm like, they made their Spider-Man look bad. I mean, yeah, again, like I said, that Spider-Man has all new sculpts and all that. Whatever, you know what I mean? Like, it really doesn't matter. Maybe they wanted to do this to take the heat off Spider-Man, and if so, it's the very poor choice. Very poor business choice there. It is just bad. It is, yeah, it's not a good look. I don't know what else to say, but they shot themselves in the foot. They made Spider-Man higher than he's supposed to be. $50, Hulk. $60, but majority reuse. Like, I mean, they just killed the buzz for that line completely. Like, now, ask yourself this. Are you looking forward to the next Maximum figure reveal? Like, I'm thinking about it. Like, right now, as I'm asking you, I'm thinking about it. I don't know, and I don't think I care. After that Hulk, now it's making me think, okay, you did the one thing you weren't supposed to do, and this is reuse and repaints. No, man, you know what I mean? Like, going back to what I was saying before about unpopular costumes, which, I mean, it's kind of inevitable. They're gonna do a symbiote Spider-Man. on that body mold. You know, match the McFarlane symbiote suit with that McFarlane Spider-Man. It's gonna happen. And I remember I was on Dave Displaying Model Behaviors live stream. He invited me, and I said if they're gonna do that for the Maximum line, they got to do something different. They just can't straight up repaint the spider logo on. They have to like do what Mafex did and sculpt the actual spider logo. Like, I know it's not much, but it's something different. It's not making it a straight up repaint, reuse. You know what I mean? If you do that on that torso, and you know, some people are like, you know, they are not gonna sculpt the spider logo on it. It's just gonna be painted. And you know what? It's fair to think that way, especially since, you know, Hasbro's proven track record in the past. They have, you know, a lot of times what they're supposed to sculpt and paint at the same time, they don't do it. You know what I mean? Look, Maximum Spider-Man. For $50, he should have had the sculpted cobwebbing and painted on top of it, you know? Painted and sculpted cobwebbing. He should have had that. Would that still justify a $50 price tag? No, but it'll at least make me feel a little bit better about the freaking price. You know what I mean? But that's the one thing. They gotta find some way to differentiate it. Like, I'm just thinking Wolverine, man. You know, that figure has to now individuate itself from any other costume. So I'm thinking, like, you know, Tiger Stripe and Brown costume are his most famous costumes, right? So, you know, maybe sculpt the Tiger Stripes, you know, on him or something like that. Like, I don't know, man. Look, I'm just throwing shit out there, but you get the point. This is not a line they should be doing repaints at all, you know, and reuse. I feel like everything should have been unique. They just killed their entire name of Maximum to now Minimum. It's gonna go back to, you know, Hasbro being Hasbro, which it already is and always will be like that. But yeah, it really killed off any kind of hype for me, and we're just gonna see where it goes from there. But you know, with Maximum, I'm just gonna keep my expectations low for it and take it as a case-by-case basis. You know, whatever they do, I'm just gonna call it how I see it. You know, that's how I've always been. Just gonna call it like I see it. I'm always gonna keep it real. But what a way to shit on the bed with that Hulk release, man. Like Amber Heard shitting on the bed kind of thing. It's not good. So yeah, with that Hulk, I cannot and will not defend that type of buffoonery. It's straight up buffoonery. There's no other better word, I feel like, than to describe it as such. And I just don't know what's next, you know? Maximum Thor, what's that going to be? Is that going to be now an 80 years reuse with just a fabric wired cape and maybe a toe joint? I do not know. I don't know what to expect now after this Hulk release. And what does this mean for the female figures? Like, what's going to differentiate them from the rest? Like the Phoenix and the Warbird with the double diaphragm joint, you know? Are they going to have the lower ball peg neck like that Spider-Man, you know, that you can rotate it around like that? And what, toe joints? Toe joints isn't anything new on female figures. It's been done before by Toy Biz. You know, they had, you know, female figures with toe joints. New for Hasbro, not new to us. I hope Psylocke is the first female in the Maximum series line. That's my favorite X-Lady. You know, I got her tatted right here. The Jim Lee trading card artwork right there. I goon for Psylocke. Look, the Psylocke cheeks are right there so I could clap them anytime I want. Oh, I'm just goofing around, man. Don't mind me. I'm just goofing. But seriously, like, they gotta do some really cool stuff with the females too. And for Juggernaut, I don't know what he's gonna have a squishy torso too, like Hulk, so he can also do like a thunderclap or that, you know, that thunder punch that he does. I don't know, man. Well, maybe if they take another page out of Storm Collectibles and give us squishy butt cheeks, then maybe we could get a Marvel Rivals twerking Venom from the Maximum series. All Alright, that's enough of the cheeks. Enough cheeks talk here. But, yeah. Maximum series, that's what I have for you guys for like the 5 or more things that I mentioned that Hasbro should not do for their Marvel Legends Maximum series. I'm going to wrap this up now, but there you have it. Those are the 5 things for me that Marvel Legends cannot do for their Maximum line, and they've already failed on the biggest thing, which is reuse and repaint. That Hulk better be the last of any reuse and keep mostly everything. I know they can't keep all, but mostly everything should stay unique in the Maximum line. One thing I forgot to mention about that is what's gonna be the stir in the community when they strip a Maximum figure off its accessories? Take Maximum Spidey, just for this example, only to put it on a retro card with a different head. I think they should keep those Maximum figures only for that line, because then it's just gonna make them look bad again when they offer it for $25 on a retro card. The best thing they can do right now is to drop the price down to $40, since it's already receiving bad publicity on social media. There's no way you can tell me that all these accessories that came with Maximum Spider-Man equate to the same amount of plastic to that of the Proton Cannon alone, which came with the exclusive Retro Iron Man. That thing was insane. A new mold at the time that had 3 heads, 3 sets of hands, and effect pieces, all for $44.99. That Iron Man was Maximum before they put out the Maximum title out. That was worth it to me, because people were 3D printing that cannon and selling it for $40 before that release. I said no thanks, as I'd rather have the figure with all those accessories for $5 more. So the best thing Hasbro should do is drop the price down to $10. Even if it's a $5 drop, that'll match the price of that Iron Man and at least show some generosity towards their consumers. But we know that ain't gonna happen, as prices are going up and they won't flinch. But they should start considering a price drop now if they're going to do reuses of older molds before they see declines in sales and have to cancel the Maximum line, which will ultimately make them look like failures again with another failed project due to greed, when the simplest thing to do was keep it at the $35 to $40 sweet spot. Spider-Man can sell at $50, but it can't be like that for every figure. Do you expect a Doctor Strange to sell for $50? A Moon Knight for $50? A Hawkeye for $50? A Daredevil for $50? Actually, Daredevil is popular enough to sell at that price. Him, Wolverine, Venom, those will, but the others I mentioned, I don't think will. Maybe Moon Knight, but he's not more popular than a Daredevil. So this line has to be the heavy-hitting household names only. Can't be getting D-listers like a Spy Master. Not the line for it. They really made this Maximum line more polarizing than a HasLab. I mean, you have content creators making multiple videos and live streams on it as if it's a $350 HasLab release. As a content creator myself, I get it, as more content equals more money. Though the topic should only be a one and done video for each figure, but I get what they're doing. They are trying to cash in on that flavor of the month check so that it pays for their Max Spidey figure or whatever Max figure. I'm not about the money though, so I'm only gonna make a video about it like once every figure reveal, maybe twice before a review, depending on the topic where I see fit, but no more than that. Prepare though, as it's going to be exhausting having to hear this from multiple content creators over and over again. Making one video about it is fine, but when you keep doing it over and over again, then it just becomes forced rage bait farming. Like, holy shit, man, I took some time in February for a mental getaway, and I come back to see everyone fighting over this Maximum Spider-Man figure in the community. Like, man, these guys are miserably insufferable drama chasers. Like, everyone was blowing up my phone. Yo, Manny, where's your thoughts on Maximum Spider-Man? When can we expect the video? I know you got things cooking. Please, I'm living in reality. Trust me, guys, with all the personal shit that's going on in my life, I promise you that a $50 figure is the least of my worries. Priorities come first. All these luxuries of figures is not a necessity. It don't mean shit. I'm all for critiquing a figure, but when seeing others in the community tear each other down, whether it's randos in the comment section or content creators talking shit about other content creators over a damn toy, it's immature and fucking loser mentality. Look, at the end of the day, let's just enjoy what we have, because you never know how long it's gonna last. Prices are going to keep going up on figures, so if you're thinking about taking a break in the hobby, then now would be the best time to do so. There are other hobbies to explore. Hell, I'm thinking about taking a break too. I have other hobbies that I very much enjoy, so action figures never were the end-all be-all for me. I never planned to do this whole YouTube thing forever. I'll still collect figures, but not as much. I've already cut back on collecting and just being selective on what I enjoy. There's nothing wrong with taking a break. It's just crazy now how these corporations are greedy as hell. Then on top of that, the community is making themselves look bad by taking it out on each other instead of standing up against corporate Mongols being miserably insufferable morons. It's like I'm not even picking a side anymore. So I'm taking the side of whatever the fuck makes X-Man87's mental health feel better for what he wants in his collection. That's the side I'm taking. Like I said, I'm no shill to any corporation, but I'll shill for good action figures to recommend for my viewers. If anything is bad, I'll call it out. And if it's good, then I'll praise whatever is good. My Maximum Spider-Man shipped, so I'll let you know what my thoughts are on that once I get it for review. So if you got your Maximum Spider-Man, if you like it, enjoy it. If you don't, hey man, look, you got options. And that's not a bad thing. Life is too short to be pissed off all the time. Now I kick it back to you. What did you agree with in this video? Of course, you are always welcome to disagree. Just keep it civil in the comments. What are your 5 no-nos that Marvel Legends cannot do for their Maximum line? Comment below, let me know, we'll chat about it. Thanks for tuning in to another Marvel Legends discussion video. Please follow me on Instagram if you haven't already at xman87. Hit the notification bell so you always know when my latest videos are up. Share and subscribe if you're new. See you on the next video. Peace.